Welcome to Kendra's Artistic Crochet Designs. And today we're going to make us a Tunisian snowflake sweater. Um, and I'm actually going to be using cotton yarn. I'm using the Sugar Real Cotton Sparkle. And then as we go along with this sweater, I'll show you the other. Right now we're just going to start with this. And that's what I have right here. And I'm looking for my 5mm hook. I just had it. There it is. Okay, so I also have a 5mm hook because this is a number 3 yarn. And we're going to start with the collar of our sweater. And we're going to do it a little bit differently than what we've been doing. So first of all, we're going to chain 11. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And we're going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook and in every chain across. And you should have 10 single crochets by the time that you're done with this row. And there you go. That's what it should look like. Chain 1 and turn. Now, because I want this collar to be a stretchy collar, we're going to work in the back loop only. So we're just going to work in this back loop only.
Now I gotta take this thing upstairs. Dad, you gotta get this.
And just single crochet all the way down, and you should still have 10 single crochets. And then you're just going to repeat this. Chain 1 and turn, back loop only, and go all the way down. Now we're going to make 50 rows of this. So 50 rows should go over the head and stretch enough over the head and stuff and not be too tight around the neck. So we're going to do this, and then we will be back to show you what to do next. So just keep doing this until you have 50 rows, and I'll see you for the next step. All right, so I have 50 rows, and now we're going to put those together, and we're going to crochet these together, and I'll show you. So when we do this, we're going to use the front loop of the front piece and the back loop of the back piece. And then we're just going to slip stitch them. You're not going to chain 1 or anything. You're just going to go into a slip stitch. So front loop and back, front of this front piece, back loop of this piece, and slip stitch them together. And of course you should have 10 slip stitches once we get this done. All right, so then you really can't even, there's no seam or anything. You cannot tell if this looks like all the rest of them. See, isn't that cool? That's so neat. So we don't have to worry about seams on this. Um, Even the inside don't looks about the same. It don't look that bad. All right, so now what we're going to do now is we're going to fold this piece in half this way. And then we're just going to we need to single crochet, but while we're doing this we might as well work this end piece in. All right, here we go. All right, so I understand that this is called a, I don't know if I told you that this is called the Tunisian snowflake sweater. We haven't done any Tunisian work yet. We have done this first part is all crochet. So what we need to do now, because of it being Tunisian, and Tunisian is a tighter stitch, we need to add stitches to this. So we're going to put two two in the first one, and then the next two together we're just going to do one, and then we're going to add two in the next one. All right, so we're just sewing these rows together, and every other one we're going to add a stitch. We want to make sure that we have enough stitches. All right, so every other one we're sewing these two ends together at the same time, and then we're just doing our increase on every other one. So we're increasing. So that stitch we're going to sew together. And then this row. All right, so you're going to do that all the way around. Okay, you're going to do 1 2 1 2. We're just adding a stitch in every other one. All right, and then I will meet you at the end of this. But once it's together, it's going to look like this. Isn't that going to be a cool collar? I kind of got that idea off of somebody on YouTube, and I love that idea. So anyway, we will be back at the end of this. All right, so by the time you get all the way around there, there's 77, which is not going to be enough stitches for what we need to do. So we're going to do another row of increases, and going in the very first one right here, we're going to put 2 in that one. We're going to do the same increase, 1 in the next one and 2 in the next one, just like we did. So there's 1 and then 2, 1 and then 2. All right, so you're going to go all the way around it and do one more increase, and then we'll be back. All right, now we have 141, 114 stitches, not 141, 114. So every 28th one should be marked with a stitch marker. We're cutting that in quarters. It was 28.5, but I think if we do every 28, it should come out okay. So right here, let's start right here. So let's put a stitch marker in that one. We need to mark off our corners. That is what we're doing. Marking off the corners. I am going to make that first one red, and the rest of them are going to be yellow. So I'm marking them off as red. That first one is red because I want to know this is my first stitch. That's why. All right. So there's one. Well, let's count after this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we'll put that in the 28th one. All right, and then now we'll do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What happened to it? I thought I pulled one out of there. One, two, three, four, 6, 7. Only off by one. That's not bad. Okay, so there's our corners marked. And now that we've got those corners marked, we are going to need a Tunisian crochet hook next. And we are actually, that is what this is called right here. This is a double-ended. Because this is crocheting in the round, you need a double-ended crochet hook. Okay, so this I believe is a K as well. I don't think it's a J. We're going to see how this comes out, because if I don't like it, I may go down to a J, but we'll see. So we'll see how this comes out. So when we do a corner, which we started out with corner, we're going to go in and we're going to bring up and leave it on the hook. All right, and then we're going to just wrap the hook and go into the next one. So I just did a corner, okay. What we did is we wrapped the hook because I increased by one there. All right, and we're going to do that on both sides of this thing. Let's bring this up. This was the corner that I went into. And this, on each side of the corner, is the 2 extra stitches. So now all you're going to do is you're going to go through and pick up these loops from these single crochets. So you go in the single crochet and pick up a loop, and just go and leave it on your hook. Until you get to this next corner. Alright, so here is the stitch before the corner. We'll pick that up, and then you're going to wrap your hook and go into the corner and pick that up. And then we're just going to move the stitch marker up there. And that's how you increase whenever you do Tunisian crochet. You can either wrap your hook or put 2. I think it's just easier just to wrap the hook and then just continue. So I wrapped the hook and then I went into the next one, and I have 2 extra stitches on each side of that corner. And just keep going all the way around it doing that. All right, and then whenever it gets too much, here pretty soon it's going to get, we're going to work this off, and I'll show you how. All right, so you will need 2, when you do this working in the round, you need 2 balls of yarn. Well, let me find the end here. It's in there somewhere. There it is. All right. So what you do is once you get ready to work these stitches off, go down to the other end and turn it around, and you need to put a slip knot and put that on your hook. And then the very first one, and this is the only one that you'll do, is you'll go through one, and then you're going to go through two after that. So then you'll just go through two. Keep going through two until you have 3 or 4 loops left on your hook. And there we go. So one more. So we got 3 loops. We got 4 loops. Okay. So turn this back around and bring your, we're just going to leave that go here, and then we're going to continue to work on loops from every stitch. Just going inside every stitch and continue all the way around. And then that's how you put them on and take them off when you're working it around. It is so cool. We're going to do a lot of working it around this year on Tunisian crochet. So this year is going to be Tunisian crochet year. I love it so much that I've decided to explore, and I just learned how to work things in around, and I really, we're gonna love doing this because we're gonna be making sweaters and stuff like that. So before we get to this corner, we want to add another stitch on, so we're just wrapping the hook just like we did the other corner. Go in to do your corner, and then we could take the time to keep these in place, or else you're going to be so messed up. Just take the time to keep them in place, because when you work them off, there they are. See, it's right there for you. So, and then we're going to wrap our hook after that corner, and then go in and keep going, and then work them off. Once you get once you get your hook full, then you have to go at the other end and work them off. All right, so I'm going to go all the way around it. and I will see you at the end of this round. All right, so I'm all the way around there, and that was just the foundation row that we've got started. So now you're going to be looking for bars. This is the very first stitch that we started with because it's on the other side of this red one. That's the reason why I wanted that to be red, so that I knew exactly where the first stitch was. We're just going to do simple stitch. So we're just going to go in that bar and pull the yarn through. All right, and you're going to add a stitch. So you're going to wrap your hook before you do this corner, do your simple stitch, and then wrap your hook again, because we're adding 2 stitches every time we do that. Hang on a minute. There we go. All right, and then we're going to move that up. That was our corner right there. And then you're going to go through the bars and just do a simple stitch. Just continue picking up loops until you get to the next corner, and you're always going to add an extra loop on your hook on each side of that corner. Let me see, did I do that right? Now that I'm actually, I'm sorry, but that's not right. We're going to pull these out. Okay, instead of doing that, yes, you're going to go in between the 2 bars and put a stitch, and it's a full stitch in between the 2 bars. And then this is the corner, and then I'll put that back in. And then on the other side of that corner, you're going to put it in between the bars again. Okay, then you're going to pick up, I apologize, then you're just going to continue picking up your stitches. We'll get to the other one, and I'll go over that again. We'll get to the other corner. All right, so here we are. The next one is the corner. So we're going to go in between the bars. So this stitch right here in between the bar, go straight back and pull up like that. And then do the corner one, which is right here. And then we'll move that stitch marker up onto that one. And then we're on the other side of the stitch marker, so we got to go in between the bars again and pull up an extra one right here. And then just continue on doing your simple stitch, going through the bars and pulling them up. All right, but from here on out, our taking off our stitches, we're going to turn this around, and I'm going to show you how we're going to do it now. So now let's finish off these three though. First of all, there was three here we needed to finish off before we started that row. Okay, now we're going to chain one and then go through two. So we're going to chain one, then go through two. So this is going to make our fabric stretchy so that we have a stretchy sweater. And we are going to take off this way all the time now. So you're chaining one first and then going through two. Chain one, go through two. Chain one, go through two. And it looks like it's gonna do this, but it's okay because it'll straighten out once we put more stitches in. And you just keep doing this until you get to three, until you have three left on your hook, and then you can continue around. All right. All right. Don't go too far. All right, so now I have 4 loops on my hook. I'm going to switch this back around this way and continue. And you're just going to do that all the way around there. It looks like there's a lot right there, but it's really not. But once we go around, it'll it'll do, you know. Anyway, so now we just continue picking up loops and then doing the corners the way we did the last 2 corners. So I will see you at the end of this round. Okay, so we're going to go back around. We're all the way around there now. And we're just going to continue doing that until your sweater goes a little bit over your shoulders. But I want to show you how this goes away as we work this stitch. So I've made all my corners the yellow, and then this first stitch, it moves as we're adding stitches to those corners. So I have made that one the red one. So this is the first stitch, and I'm gonna put that stitch marker right here because I always want to know where that first stitch is. And then right here is the corner. So on this side of the corner, we're going to go in between. It's in the chain 1 space now. There's a chain 1 space in between these, remember. So we're going to go in the chain 1 space and bring up a loop. And then you're going to go under that bar and bring up a loop, which is that corner. And we can put that back. And then on the other side of that corner, you're going to go in the chain 1 space and bring up a loop. And now you're just going to pick up bars. Continue to pick up bars. See, it moves all of these in the back, but it makes this fabric, it's going to make this fabric stretchy. And that's what I love about that. I learned that one, I think I learned that last year when I was trying to make socks. And then so then I got renewed whenever I started watching YouTube on Tunisian and stretchy Tunisian cloth and all of that. So it's been a while since it's been maybe almost a year since I actually got to watch YouTube channel and learn different techniques, and I have just been having a ball with it. So as you can see how that looks, it moves that in the back, but it'll stretch. Isn't that cool? That is such a neat thing. So, and I'm using 2 different colors, as like I've got this light blue coming forward here, and then this darker blue, and you can just see it in that. That is just so beautiful the way that's coming out. I just love it. I also learned that too, that you can use 2 different colors. we'll go all the way to the next corner, and I will do the next corner for you, to make sure that you know what you're doing. But this stitch just repeats every row now until your sweater goes over your shoulder, a little bit over your shoulder. So you could just keep trying it on you and till you get to that point. But it's going to take a few rows, quite a few rows, because this is like knitting. And so it isn't like crochet where things take a little bit. So it takes longer to do the Tunisian, but it's worth it. To get that knit stitch, like knitting, it's so worth it. All right, so we are here at the corner, and right before the corner in that chain one space, you're going to bring up a loop. Okay, and then you're going to go through the bar for the corner and bring up a loop. And this thing's giving me a hard time, so I'm going to take it out. Anyway, so wait a minute, I lost my stitch. There's that one, and then the bar, and then this one. And then right in the middle of those is where this stitch marker goes. If I can get it in there. There we go. And then you just continue going across the bars, because we're just doing a plain simple stitch here. Because this week we're doing everything simple stitch. Well, this whole month actually. All right. So there we go. And then you just take them off like we've been doing. You do your chain one, go through two, chain one, go through two. But that is really, really neat. I just love that, the way that looks. Okay, so this ends this section of the sweater. Okay, so we will be back next week to go over the next section. So you've got some homework to do to make this big enough to go over your shoulders. So it goes across here. It'll probably go halfway down here, like here, and then a little bit over your shoulder. So you'll just keep going and then try it on. Keep going, try it on. Okay? And I will see you next week for the next part of this sweater. I want to thank you guys for watching. Have a great day, and bye-bye now.